What is going on, team? Welcome to today's video. Today's video is an interesting one. It's more of a discussion. It's something that's been brought up over the last couple of days, and it's something that I actually brought up over the semi-finals weekend itself. Yep, causing quite a stir in the CrossFit community at the moment. Quite a bit of controversy, and quite understandably so. If you don't know what's going on, this video is to explain what's going on, and then you can kind of form your own opinion. Obviously, the semi-finals in week 3 were online competitions due to COVID restrictions. And with that, athletes had to hand in videos of their workouts to be reviewed so that their score can go on the leaderboard. What seemed to be happening over the weekend was that the scores would go in, you'd see a couple of alterations. The leaderboard actually wouldn't go out until the videos had been reviewed, or what it seemed like on the first day is they just uploaded the scores, and then within the hour of them being uploaded, they then got reviewed and altered. Basically, it meant the athletes knew where they stood, you know? Like with the leaderboard, once the workouts were up, they'd get a thing saying that their video had been accepted, and you know, you kind of just get on with your life. However, what's happened over the last couple of days shook the community a little bit. And the story evolves around Emma Tall, Swedish athlete competing in the German throwdown. What happened was, after the weekend, CrossFit posted that she finished in 5th place. She got confirmation that her videos were accepted, and on the CrossFit Games socials, she got put out as a qualifying athlete for the CrossFit Games. Obviously, after the announcement, celebrations, and then 2 days later, the leaderboard overnight seemed to just change, to the point where she wasn't in a qualifying spot and she was now 8th. And her time on event 6, Gretel, had changed from 250 to 310. After initially being accepted, meaning that Sam Briggs went from 6th to 5th into that qualifying spot, and Emma Tall was in the last chance qualifiers and not games bound. Now, what caused this penalty? Emma Tall spoke to the morning chalk up and said the penalty came about because a judge held the barbell to stop it from rolling after dropping it from the clean and jerks. The problem with this was, with the workout descriptions, workouts 1, 2 and 3 had the description saying that the athlete cannot have any outside assistance with their equipment. However, in workouts 4, 5 and 6, the description did not explicitly say anything about outside assistance on equipment. And I mean, if you've been in a CrossFit box, depending on what plates you get, if you drop the barbell from overhead, especially in a clean and jerk, you can have plates that don't bounce, you can have plates that really bounce. And so basically it looked like her judge was just settling her barbell. That's why she got the penalty, even though in the rules, it didn't state that that wasn't allowed or disallowed. It didn't state it at all. In response to this, a spokesman for CrossFit said that as an established practice, athletes are not allowed to receive assistance from their judge or coach unless explicitly stated. This precedent has been established at every single stage of the CrossFit Games competition, whether virtual or in person, as it offers an obvious advantage for athletes to have their equipment managed during an event. There are also several additional athletes below the quarterfinal line who are also being issued penalties for the similar infraction, all of which will be released later today. He then further went on to say, on the timing of the announcements last night, that was simply an internal miscommunication, as the team working on the article was not aware of the secondary penalty review process until after it was completed. The article has since been corrected. Emma Tall since this has put in an appeal, and it's going through the process now of being appealed. We probably won't know the outcome for a little while, but it's just one of those. It's CrossFit is still a young sport, and the controversy here isn't about the penalty that is given. It's about a couple of things. It's about the lack of communication between the athletes and CrossFit in terms of standards not being clear enough. By the way that the CrossFit spokesman was talking, he was talking kind of like, you should know this, rather than it's written down in the rules and you should follow this. 2, the communication between the media and us, having one part of the CrossFit team announce things before their final. I'm sure everyone in the CrossFit community could wait a week longer to make sure that the results that we actually get are legit and they aren't going to change. And for us as spectators, we don't get too badly affected by this, but imagine being the athlete that puts in all the hard work over the years, gets announced as a CrossFit Games qualifying athlete to the world. You get confirmation of your videos being accepted, to then only 2 days later being told that you're not going to the CrossFit Games. You can only imagine. And 3, I feel like there needs to be more communication in terms of us understanding how CrossFit works. Over the years, they've been known as pretty closed door, don't say too much. It's a weird situation to see Emma Tall have the accepted video, so why did someone else look at that video a couple of days later and have a secondary review on it? You would think she wouldn't get sent an acceptance letter, she'd get something saying, we've seen your video, we're not 100% sure it's going to secondary review. It just makes a lot more sense. But as a sport, that's kind of why we need things like this to happen, videos like this to be made public so people can understand and maybe make changes along the way and we can actually grow as a sport. I mean, I said it at the weekend with Reggie. When I was with him in workout, I think it was 1 with the overhead squats, I was there with him. He was going onto his toes a little bit, but he was 100% breaking depth every overhead squat. He got penalized on his video for his overhead squats not being too depth. And when you look at his camera angle mixed with his short femurs and his big quads, you can understand why the guy reviewing it thought they were no reps, but if you were there and you had the camera on the side angle, you would have 100% seen that they were reps. So then these two incidents make you think, what can CrossFit change in the future, especially with online competitions, to make them not so chop and change? One of them could be that they could send out CrossFit Level 2, CrossFit Level 3 certified trainers to judge the athletes in select areas that are close to them. You know, these video reviews are kind of going against the judges that are there doing the reps, counting the reps, giving no reps, by saying, look, I know you gave them the score, but we've reviewed it on video and we don't agree with you. 2, I definitely think there needs to be a more concise rule book, something that's more in depth, given at every competition. You know, with CrossFit at their HQ, they gave out these workouts to the sanctioned events, tested each one of these workouts. As a rule of thumb, you would have seen on Gretel dropping the barbell and it bouncing. The bar bouncing and the judge settling it, I think, is one of those things that you would think about when looking at this workout as a CrossFitter, and it should have been addressed in the rule book. And just to make a further point about the rules being a little bit more concise, Katrin Davidsdottir over this weekend, she got a 22-second penalty for the way that she was doing burpees over the bar. But if you actually read the rules, the athlete must clearly jump over the barbell, both feet must be off the ground at the same time, but you do not have to have a 2-footed takeoff. And each rep is counted when both feet land on the ground on the opposite side of the floor. They don't even have to land at the same time on the other side of the barbell, according to these rules. So when you actually watch Katrin's burpees, I mean, they're sticking to the rules. 3, I think over the weekends of these semi-finals, there should 100% be a CrossFit point of contact, mobile number, whatever it is, that if anyone has any queries, they can reach out to and get advice. I witnessed firsthand over the weekend, people trying to get hold of CrossFit just to get some clarity on some rules, and it was a hard task. They're just a couple of things that I could think about over the time that this has happened. Just last night I was just having to think about it before I made this video. But as I said at the start, this is a discussion. What do you think about this issue? Do you think Emma Tool should get a games ticket? Do you think CrossFit should still give her one? Do you think what they did was too harsh? And if you have any ways that they could be better, put it down in the comments below. I'd love to read some of your guys and girls' thoughts. Obviously, as a CrossFit community, we can be very critical towards CrossFit, but I feel like it's because we care and we want a fair playing field and everyone to be and understand where they're at. And with that, I feel like the sport will grow. And as it grows over the years, we don't want stuff like this to keep happening. It just doesn't look professional. But anyway, that's me kind of covering it. I hope you understand now what's happened. And if you have enjoyed it, please smash that like button. If you're new around here, please hit that subscribe button. And if no one's told you today, you're an absolute legend. Go back and watch yesterday's vlog, first link in the description, and we'll catch you in the next one.